The functions f and g defined by f of x is equal to 8x squared minus 2, which is this one right here, and g of x is defined as being equal to negative 8x squared plus 2, which is this one right here, are graphed in the xy plane above. The graphs of f and g intersect at the points k0 and negative k0. So they both touch here and right here. What is the value of k? Alright, so k represents the x value of both points, because now we know that the points of each one that they intersect at is 0 for y. We just have to know what the values of x are, which is negative k and k. And when is that going to happen? Well, that's going to happen when both f of x and g of x intersect, meaning when they're both equal to each other. So what you want to do is just set f of x being equal to g of x. So f of x is equal to g of x. So what is that? That is 8x squared minus 2 is equal to negative 8x squared plus 2. Alright? So what we're going to do, we're going to add 8x squared here, right? Because we want to bring all the x squares on one side and the non-x squares on one side. So if I do that, 8x squared plus 8x squared, I get 16x squared minus 2 is equal to 2, since minus 8x squared plus 8x squared gives us 0. Now I'm going to add 2 to both sides, so plus 2 plus 2. I'll get 16x squared is equal to 4. And then from there, what I will do is I'll try to solve for x. So what you can do is you can divide by 4 on each side. So 4 by 4, you get 4x squared is equal to 4. You can then take the square root of each side. Square root, whoops, that is a 1. Okay, so you take the square root of each side. What you'll get is 2x is equal to plus or minus 1, right? Because 1 squared is 1 and negative 1 squared is 1. So you could also get either of these two values. And that actually kind of makes sense because we want to have two x values for our x values in this equation. Okay? So let's take a look here. So we have 2x is equal to plus or minus 1. So now we divide by 2 each side. And what we'll get is x is equal to, right here, plus or minus 1 over 2, a half, right? So one of our x values is positive half, one of the other values is negative half. And you can imagine then that is just k. The positive half is our k, which is b.